The Huns were a fierce and warlike tribe who had come from Asia into Europe and settled on the lands lying north of the Danube River. Early in the 5th century, they had a famous king named Attila. He was only 21 years old when he was made king of the wildest tribe of warriors that the world then knew. The writers of that time described the savage chieftain as a monster in appearance, short, ill-formed, with a big head, flat nose, and dark complexion. His shoulders were broad and square, and his body was very powerful. He had the habit of rolling his eyes as if to inspire terror in those who beheld him. Near the place where Attila lived, there was a cave in the mountain, in which dwelt a hermit, old and wrinkled, with long gray hair and beard, who mumbled to himself all the time. No one knew his name or where he came from. Soon after Attila was chosen king of the Huns, he went to the hermit and, desiring to know something of his own future, asked, "O hermit, thou art wise, and canst see into the future. Tell me what lies before me. Shall I be a great king and conqueror, or shall I die unknown and unhonored?" The hermit gazed at the heavens a while, and then at the ground. Finally he said, "O king, I see that thou shalt lead mighty hosts to many victories. Thou shalt defeat armies and destroy cities. The grass shall not grow where thy horse's feet have once trod. Women shall weep and children shudder when thy name is mentioned. Thou shalt be called the Scourge of God, but in the midst of thy victories. And soon after thou hast married the woman thou lovest, the hand of death shall smite thee suddenly and without warning." Attila fled from the cave in horror. He had not yet thought of his bloody career, and was too young to consider death with any feeling but dread. But the more he thought of what the hermit had said, the more he was reconciled to his career. Walking with his attendant one day, he said, "He shall lead the Huns against the Romans in Gaul, and blood shall flow in the rivers. My name shall be a dread upon the earth, for so the gods have decreed. Send forth the order for the Huns to be prepared for war." With this, he set about gathering the best men from the various tribes and organizing them into an army. They were terrible men, grim, hairy, bloody, riding horses like demons, and brandishing spear, axe, and sword with ruthless ferocity. Nothing they liked better than war and bloodshed, and so they hailed the order of Attila with joy. It was not long before their leader, fiercer now than any of his men, had them trained to do his bidding. It so happened that one of the king's shepherds, noticing blood dripping from a wound in the foot of one of his cattle, followed the trail of blood that the animal had left in the grass. At last, he saw the sharp point of a sword sticking out of the earth. Quickly he dug up the sword, carried it to Attila, and told him how he had come by it.